What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig. We're going to take a look at the markets. We're going to first take a look at the Dow Jones, look at the plunge that's happening. We called this a couple weeks ago. I gave you guys a target to watch for a bounce. We're going to take a look at that, how close we are to it. If we break through that, could it get a lot more ugly? That's what we're going to talk about. Now, if you guys think about what's going on in the news economy, right? If you watch the news channels, the market channels, everything's fine, whatever. That's usually what happens before a big recession. As you guys know, I've been talking about the biggest money grab in history, and I'm kind of going to go over that a little bit in this video. But make sure before we begin, smash that thumbs up, leave your comments down below. I'll take a look at Bitcoin too. We'll take a look at that target we've had for a few weeks also, see if that's going to be our bounce area or if we're going to continue down. So if you are trading this market, be extremely careful. Make sure you always use stop losses. I've made a video about that. I'll leave that up top, how to use stops and whatnot. Let's get into the video. Let's see what's going on. First, taking a look at the Dow. So if we go over here to the Dow Jones, on the right hand side you'll see the Great Depression of 1929, and on the left where we are now. Now if we are gonna get another push to the upside, I do expect a major blow off top if we haven't already hit that, right? So if we were to bounce back up, we could go as high, if you look at this as a rising wedge, up to this 43 to 44,000 area. Now a lot of people are in the mindset that by now it's, you're doing great. But if you look at, they bought all the way down at the bottom, down here back in the Great Depression, right? Yeah, they made a ton of money going up, right? But a lot of people were buying in right around this area, right in here, thinking it was going to go up forever. Everything was great. And what you had was a blow off top, and it came down. And all these people that bought in these areas still came out as a loss. So if they did not sell, they came out at a huge loss, right? So that's something you got to think about when you're playing in the markets, because things can turn very bad very quickly. And in my opinion, we are getting to that point if we've not already reached it. So be extremely careful. This could definitely be happening. Now let's take a look at the smaller time frame, the 4 hours. So this was the chart I was showing you a couple weeks ago. If we broke this trend line, I told you you could take a measured move of the rising channel and bring it down. Did I mention, make sure you guys take a second out, smash that thumbs up, leave your comments down below. Do you think we're going to have one more push higher? Do you think this market's going to go up forever? Or do you think it's going to be turning soon? And if you do think it's going to be turning soon, be prepared. Make sure you've taken profits, because profits disappear real quickly if you're holding in a major bear market. So our target was 37.8, 37.9, somewhere in this range. I do expect a bounce. Now, if we don't get that bounce, obviously we can go a lot further down. But let's take this over here. Look at this as an Elliott wave count. Wave 1, 2, and we're working on 3. If that 3 gets us down to this area, we could bounce all the way back up to approximately 39.2, 39.3 for wave 4. But if we break this wave 1 here, that will invalidate this count. But if this count is correct, it may be a good spot to put in a small long here. Let's use the fib retracement, right? From this top, wave 1 to the bottom of wave 1, up to wave 2, and then down to wave 3. That, if it went by the Elliott wave rules, it would go down to about the 3618, which would be 37,673. Now let's say we get down to that level, right? No matter what, the invalidation right here at 39,271 will work either if we do get our bounce here or here. But let's put this in a retracement level from the top of wave 2. Let's say it gets to that 37.8, 37.9 range. Your golden pocket would be about 39,164, would be as high as I see it going if it is a wave 4. It doesn't have to go that high. This was a pretty deep retracement, right? So this one's usually shallow, which may be that 38.3 to 38.6 range before continuing down for the wave 5 here. And then we may get one more big push up, making this a big wave 1 and a wave 2 following. We'll take a look at all that, but this is what I'm looking at now. There's my target. We've had this for a few weeks. Expect a bounce in this area somewhere. We'll see how it continues next week. Obviously, markets are closed over the weekend, so Bitcoin can do its own thing. If you guys are interested in trading the traditional markets or crypto, any of that stuff, Forex, even gold, silver, you can do that all from one exchange. That is Prime XBT. If you use my link down below, it can get you up to a $7,000 bonus and 25% off your trading fees. Now, let's take a look at, we're going to go into the other counts here in a minute, looking at the exactly where we're out at now in a smaller time frame. But as you know, we were watching this triangle, and I had said if you watch this video when we were breaking here, that watch for a turn back down, which we got. That does invalidate the triangle. You can move this trend line up, see what happens here, but our most important level to watch now is going to be this bottom trend line. If it does break, you take a measured move. That would get us down to around that $50,000 range. So there is a chance we could see this in the next couple weeks or months or even sooner. Who knows? Depending on what the big boys decide to do, dump all at once or just slowly dump, let it pop back up so they can keep getting higher prices, right? But if we do break back up above this level, right, 72.7, somewhere in that range, we could still be looking for that 84. Or if we take that measured move, there's still a bullish case that we break up beyond here and somewhere in the 86.4 range. So we're going to move this target up right about there, right? So if we were to turn around here and continue back up, but if we look at our RSI here, we're not making any divergence yet, right? We could also draw a smaller trend line right in here and take a measured move off that. If we broke, which would be somewhere around 53 to 54. So we're going to put that target in there also. We're just going to clone it. Either way, breaking, let's say we break the 67.5, I'd be looking for the 63.5, somewhere in that range. And then once that breaks, then your targets are that 54,000 and 50,000 range. Like I said, I've been looking for the biggest money grab in history. I still think it's going to come. And like I said, when it does, you're not going to have a whole lot of time to get out if it does occur. But again, you can trade all this stuff on Prime XBT. They are a sponsor of this channel. And like I said, using my link, you get some major bonuses. So, all right, we'll take a look at the smaller here, right? We were watching this rising channel. I told you to watch. If we broke down, our target was going to be about 65.8. And I told you watch for a rejection on the bottom trend line, which we got over here, right? So now for this to invalidate, it would have to get all the way back up here, basically break this high, right? So still looking for that 65.8 target. That may be the bounce range. We may see that this weekend. It may start moving back up for the weekend. And then when the traditional markets open, if they continue down, obviously Bitcoin would continue down. But if the Dow Jones and Bitcoin hit their targets here, you may see a bounce. We can look at the RSI trend line here on the 4 hour in Bitcoin. Right now it is below, but the RSI follows the body of the candle, not the wick. So if we can stay back in this, we may get one more push up and go test this one more time over the weekend. But again, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But if you did get in a short over here, you're probably doing pretty well right now. Longs, if we break this point, the longs are going to be in major trouble. Probably if you break this low here, 70 or 67.5, 67.4, 75. If you break that, it might be a quick move down here. But again, watch for a bounce. And then watch for this bottom trend line around 63,333. Right. Let's take a look at Amazon to Bitcoin bubble. So this is the big picture. This is what I've been talking about. You can see the Amazon bubble got 3 highs over here, just like we got here. I was looking at this high here, thinking it was this high. But if you take a good look at this, you can see the market structure is very similar. And back in 2000, if anyone was around watching anything going on in the markets, everybody was getting rich quick. .com was the huge thing, kind of just like crypto now. I still am a firm believer that most of these cryptos are just going to wash away into nothingness, right? Even some of the ones that people think are huge will probably wash away in nothingness. Sure, a few good ones will survive. And as long as Bitcoin survives, I think there will be others that survive, just not as many as people think, right? Because a lot of these are just huge money grabs. A great way to make a ton of money in the short term, right? But for long term investment, I would be very, very cautious for a lot of these alternative cryptos. So, anyways, what else we're seeing here is from this high to this high, we have a higher high in the price action and a lower high right here, which is major hidden bearish divergence, right? So just be aware of that. Be careful because we got the same thing over here, right? From this high to this high right here, you had a higher high in the price action, lower high in the RSI, hidden bearish divergence. You can see what happened after that. Could this end up looking like this, and what would my target be? Well, as you guys know, I could see it going as low as 3,500 possibly if the markets crash hard, right? Not meaning it goes down in a day, not meaning it goes down in a week. It will take time. But 9,700 is a huge area for me to watch, right? If we look at this in the long term, obviously this is a monthly chart, right? You can see the high volume nodes right here between 8,000 and 9,700. It also lines up with this trend line right here. And I've talked about it before. If we look at the RSI, look at this bottom trend line. Well, first, the top we touched. Bottom, we had a touch. Top, alternative touches. We never touch the bottom here. Unless we get up and touch this top, this is still valid for one more touch to the low down on in this range. So that's one of the other reasons I'm looking for that 97. Now, could it possibly continue up forever and you see crazy new all-time highs to 100,000 like people have been talking about since 2021, they were calling it? I'm still looking for this low here. We got pretty low over here. We called this top over here, but I thought we were going to go lower here, which would have actually been better for the future of Bitcoin and crypto markets along with traditional markets if the crash would have happened then. But I still believe there is a crash coming and we have further down to go, guys, before this is all over and it's safe to actually enter the markets for the long term. Tesla, we've been talking about this for a long time. Still looking for this $40 to $50 range in Tesla. I think we'll see all these lows at the same time, possibly this year, possibly next year. Timing is the hardest thing to judge in the markets. And for XRP, you guys know my target has been and remains between 4 and 26 cents. Unless it breaks this top trend line, which is the hype trend line, right? Every time there's a huge hype and a dump, huge hype and a dump, huge hype and a dump. People have called me crazy on this for years, but if you look at this, if you've ever watched penny stocks, a dying penny stock makes continuous lower highs until it fizzles into nothing land. And a lot of cryptos are going to do that, in my opinion. So be careful, be cautious. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.